There are certain old-world skills that seem almost unbelievable today methods, crafted out of pure necessity. Long before factories, chemicals, or industrial coatings existed, hidden among these medieval building practices is one technique so effective it truly feels like something modern society accidentally left behind. It's a preservation method that protected wood from rot, insects, water, fungus, and decay for far longer than anything untreated wood could survive. And the craziest part? It required no machines, no electricity, no synthetic compounds, just natural materials and knowledge passed down between generations. Long before pressure-treated lumber, copper-based chemicals, and synthetic sealants became standard, medieval craftsmen relied on a homemade wood dip that was so effective, archaeologists today are still uncovering preserved beams, wagon parts, and barn posts coated with it. These pieces have been buried, weathered, soaked, scraped, and forgotten. Despite this, almost no one in the modern world uses the technique anymore. It doesn't fit into commercial workflows. It's too old-fashioned, too slow for factories, but perfect for people who work with natural materials, build off-grid, or simply want wood to last decades longer without harsh chemicals. This method wasn't a secret guild formula or a mystical potion. It was simply a practical solution refined by people who understood the environment they lived in. When your farm tools, wagon parts, and structural beams meant survival, wood preservation wasn't an option. It was mandatory. Rot or insect damage wasn't an annoyance. Was a threat to food, shelter, and livelihoods. Medieval communities built with what they had around them. Wood was the backbone of nearly every structure from barns and fences to wheels, tools, and early machinery. Craftsmen spent their lives working with timber. They knew its weaknesses, its strengths, and how quickly nature could reclaim it if left unprotected. Their answer was a treatment that hardened the wood, sealed it from moisture, canceled fungal activity, repelled insects, and deepened the grain into a darker, richer finish that weathered storms with surprising resilience. So, how did they do it? And why was it so effective? The first foundational ingredient was pine tar, created through a specialized loxygen burn of pine roots and stumps. This wasn't the sticky sap scraped from trees. It was a concentrated resin extracted through a slow, controlled smolder. When pine burns without oxygen, its natural resins liquefy and drip out as thick, dark tar. The Vikings famously used this tar to waterproof their ships. Medieval farmers used it to seal barn timbers, roof shingles, wagon wheels, and tools. When gently warmed, pine tar becomes thinner and can soak deep into wood fibers, filling pores that would otherwise absorb water. That penetration was the key. They weren't just painting wood, they were loading it with resin, letting the wood drink the mixture until its structure changed. Today, natural pine tar is still produced in Scandinavia, and it can be warmed in a metal pot over low heat the same way medieval craftsmen did. The goal isn't boiling, it's thinning. If overheated, tar becomes too runny and loses its stickiness. Medieval builders knew this instinctively. They heated it just enough to flow deeply, but still cure into a protective layer. But pine tar alone, while effective, was too thick for large beams. That led to the second key ingredient, boiled linseed oil. This wasn't store-bought. Varnish it was a common, traditional finish in pre-industrial Europe made from pressed flax seeds. Linseed oil has incredible penetrating properties and carries tar deep into the wood's internal structure. Once cured, it forms a tough, semi-flexible layer that moves with the wood rather than cracking. The mixture they used was simple: equal parts pine tar and boiled linseed oil, gently warmed and stirred until uniform. When applied to warm, woody, specially sun-warmed beams, the mixture soaked in like a sponge. A single coat helped. 2 or 3 coats transformed the wood entirely. This combination provided moisture resistance, insect resistance, and internal reinforcement, all without sealing the wood so tightly that it couldn't breathe. Modern coatings often trap moisture inside, causing rot from within. The medieval dip did the opposite. It repelled external water while allowing internal moisture to escape. The third ingredient is the one most people overlook: wood ash, sifted from the hearth and worked into the mixture. Wood ash is alkaline, and when mixed into the tar-royal blend, it raises the pH of the treatment. Fungi and many bacteria cannot survive in high alkaline environments. By adding ash, medieval craftsmen created a naturally roach-resistant coating that actively discouraged microbial growth. The ash also thickened the mixture slightly and added minerals that strengthened the final cure. 4 posts set into damp soil or barn beams exposed to humidity and livestock. This made a tremendous difference. A modern recreation uses fine hardwood ashes sifted to remove large chunks stirred in until the mixture is smooth but slightly gritty. The resulting finish leaves a matte, dark surface, nearly identical to what archaeologists find on preserved medieval timbers. But here's the real secret. It wasn't just about the ingredients. The technique worked because medieval builders saturated the wood completely. Not a surface brush, not a quick wipe. They fully submerged smaller pieces in heated troughs, rolling them until every inch absorbed the mixture. Larger beams received multiple coats of heated solution. The goal was always the same: deep penetration, not surface coverage. This saturation is why the method lasted centuries. Weather can strip away surface coatings, but it can't reach several millimeters into the grain. Modern chemical sealers often only coat the exterior. Once scratched or cracked, moisture finds its way inside. But medieval craftsmen ensured the protection went far beyond the surface. Modern builders can replicate this by filling a metal trough or stock tank with the warm mixture and dipping boards, tool handles, fence posts, or axe shafts. For larger beams, 2 or 3 heated coats achieve much of the same protection. The result? Wood that withstands years of ground contact, rain, sun, insects, and humidity without relying on chemicals or expensive treatments. What this forgotten method really teaches us is that older solutions often outperform modern shortcuts. Medieval builders didn't rely on synthetic chemicals. They used natural materials and an understanding of wood's internal chemistry. Their dip allowed wood to resist water without trapping moisture, repel insects without toxins, and endure harsh weather without cracking. Farmers trusted the method because they saw the results: daily wagon parts lasting far longer than expected, barn posts remaining solid after years of damp winters, and tools passing down through generations. The technique worked because it had to. Their survival depended on it. Today, bushcrafters, homesteaders, historical reenactors, and natural builders can still benefit from this old-world knowledge. It's practical, sustainable, non-toxic, and surprisingly simple. And in a world where most products are designed to be replaced, not repaired, this medieval wood dip stands as a reminder that durability used to be a way of life. Medieval builders didn't waste resources. They protected what they had with the most effective natural methods available. Blend. This wood preservation technique was one of their most reliable tools. If you want more forgotten craftsmanship, ancient survival skills, and practical historical methods, brought back to life. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share this video with anyone who appreciates old knowledge that still works today.